Good morning, friends, or good afternoon even. I forget, it's still morning for me here in Alaska. Welcome to Hot Jobs with Higher Military. We are so glad that you've joined us today. We have got so much information to share, and we've got a fun-packed and very filled 30 minutes that we are getting to spend with you this afternoon. We really hope you're well. We hope that you are enjoying. We're partway through Military Appreciation Month, and it would be really good to hear what your installation is doing to celebrate the military or your local area. I would love to know that. In addition, do share with us the types of roles that you are looking for. Tell us where you are calling in from. Are you looking for SkillBridge internship opportunities, or is the direct hire side the thing for you? We really do enjoy and appreciate the information that you share with us. A, because it means that we get to know you a little better, but B, because we do go through the comments, as I've said before, and we really do take that information that you have shared so that we can utilize it for our ventures and our strategic partnerships moving forward. This is our absolute favorite time of the week. We get to spend 30 minutes with you, really hearing your comments, finding out where you're looking to move, but also if you have any challenges, obstacles, concerns at all, do throw those in the comments. And I will ask that a couple of times throughout this LinkedIn Live today, because when we have time at the end of our piece, we love to be able to come to you and acknowledge some of the questions that you have and really give back to our community. In addition, if you are not familiar, Mike Quinn, our CEO, and I perform a bi-weekly office hours. It's our chance to share an hour with you on LinkedIn audio. You don't get to see our faces, but you get to hear our voices. It's not recorded, but we literally open our office doors, and it's your chance to say, hey, what's up? This is my problem. Hey, what do you think about this? So our next one is next Thursday. So not this week, next Thursday. And we do those at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You'll see the event on the Higher Military page. So do join us if you get the opportunity. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Tom. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Rhonda. It's lovely to see you this afternoon. Really glad to have you here. Nick, you're calling in from Tacoma. You're in Washington State. You're just down the road from before here. So also, I'm really mining for a lot of information today. If you can and you're willing to, please do share how you heard about this live today. We are looking to get the word out and to share it with as many people as possible to maximize the opportunity. So we need to know where to go. And we also would love to know how you found out about us to see what is actually working. We have a couple of resources in our event today, so let me draw your eyes and attention to those. The Beginner's Guide to an Effective LinkedIn Profile. If you haven't read that, please do. It's really good in order to identify where you may be going wrong on your profile or where you may be going right. In addition, we have a great piece around targeting your resume. You will hear that phrase an awful lot as you transition or as you are looking for a role. You know, tailor your resume, target your resume, make it bespoke. And often that's great and all, but you don't quite know how to do that. So we, along with our marketing team, have written a piece that really breaks it down for you and makes it incredibly easy to take a job description and then to create and draft a resume that is fully bespoke, but really answers the question of why you would be a perfect candidate for the role. So do take a look at that. In addition, one last thing, if you are keen to really utilize and maximize your success on LinkedIn, do join Mike Quinn, our CEO, as he delivers alongside the USO Transitions team his next Mastering LinkedIn webinar. And that is on May the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We can share the link for you after this event, but if you go to the USO Transitions team website, you will be able to take a look and see that. So before we get going, we've got a very different start to the live today for you. We will be talking to our newest SkillBridge intern, really to share her thoughts and get some information from her as to how it's going and how it started, and really be able to encourage and advise you on things to know about the SkillBridge internship. But before we do that, let me just introduce myself. If we haven't met, I am Lucy. I head up the talent acquisition team here at Higher Military, and I have been here for exactly 2 years today. I have sat in this position. So I started on May the 9th, I think we are now, 2021, and it has been quite the ride. I started when we were stationed at Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota, and now my husband is stationed at Eielson in the interior of Alaska. And I'll tell you guys what, If you are familiar with the interior, you know that it's incredibly cold all winter, but spring/summer, because it's really just one season here, has hit, and we were at a balmy 65 degrees yesterday, and I enjoyed every second of that sun. Before, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thanks, Lucy. Happy to be here. Before Agby, I am outside of JBLM, Washington, and DuPont, Washington, south of Tacoma. I was a SkillBridge intern almost, let's see, it's been about a year now for me. It's my 1 year anniversary as well. Just coming up on it as a SkillBridge intern. And I was able to leverage my SkillBridge intern into a full-time job offer for a sourcing coordinator with Higher Military. One of the best decisions that I did not see coming in my life. So I'm glad to be here. I'll be sharing some SkillBridge opportunities nationwide. And that's all I have. On to you, Matt.
All right, thank you. So I'm Matt, one of the recruiters, Marine Corps veteran. I started out as a SkillBridge intern as well. It's just hit 2-year anniversary here with Higher Military. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of the direct hire roles with us. Again, we have so many that are out there. We're only going to share just a small snippet of what we have available. But again, put something in the chat that you're looking for. If you're interested in something, please let us know. But other than that, I'll turn it over to Amber.
Thanks, Matt. My name's Amber. I'm also on the recruiting team. I'm veteran, Air Force veteran, and a military spouse. I did not come to the team through a SkillBridge, but I really, really love that we can offer that to our community. Other things about me, I'm in San Antonio. I'm very happy to be able to share some roles for you guys today. If you hear something that's of interest, be sure and drop the job titles in the chat so that we can reach out to you after for a link. And Lucy, happy 2 years. I didn't realize that's today. That's fantastic.
Thank you. I didn't either until I looked at my email just now. It's gone quickly, I'll tell you that. So before we start, we have a new face in the lineup here today, somebody that you haven't seen, and her name is Marcella, but she goes by Pal. So I will be calling her Pal, so I don't want that to get confusing. And really, she joined our marketing team about 4 or 5 weeks ago, Pal, wasn't it? To support and to perform her SkillBridge internship there. And we thought it would be fun and really interesting because normally our SkillBridge interns are those from talent acquisition. So that, they have a different flavor around them. They do the same thing. We share that piece. But marketing is different, Pal. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions so that you could share your experience with our audience. So welcome.
Thank you, Lucy. It's nice to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. So can you tell me what inspired you to pursue a SkillBridge internship in the first place?
I think the one thing that inspired me to pursue a SkillBridge was the fact that I didn't know what I didn't know. So I joined the military straight out of high school, and I was very aware that I didn't know what I was getting myself into going into the civilian world and going into a civilian job market. So what inspired me was just wanting to know more about where I was going, what opportunities are out there, and how I can really leverage the knowledge that I get from the people that I work with to propel my career.
And how did you become aware of SkillBridge in the first place, and what motivated you to apply to this role?
So I learned about SkillBridge about 2 years ago, because my Marines were actually interested and they were putting their paperwork in to be able to do it. So I helped them through the process of getting into SkillBridge, or at least applying to the SkillBridge so that the command would approve it. And that's how I became aware of it. And then the reason why I wanted to do the SkillBridge, I had almost given up looking for a SkillBridge. And then I was in my TRS class, or my TAP class, and our teacher was basically like, hey, look up Higher Military. And that day you guys had posted a marketing coordinator job. So the one thing that I learned about that is just keep looking and just keep refreshing the pages. Like, you don't know what shows up one day.
That's such a good point. And we say that here all the time. Just because you see internships or jobs on our website today, don't write us off, because tomorrow the landscape and the portfolio of what we have will be completely different. And you're right, it popped up and you hit apply at the right time. And I think this is a really good junction to have a chat around your interview, actually, because you connected with Matt Collins, one of our Skillbridge recruiters, first of all, who was in the process or just finishing up his internship.
Yes.
So he was able to share that with you. But your major interview was, well, the first one was with me, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And that was, you know, from my perspective, I love interviewing anyway. I don't really get to do it very much anymore. But what really struck me, and I don't know if I've shared this with you before, about you, was everybody who knows me knows that I spend a lot of time on nonverbal communication. I listen to what you say, but I look at you whilst you're saying it, and I pick up an awful lot from there as well. And you smiled the whole time, and you were so interesting, but also incredibly interested. And we did segue throughout the interview. You shared some parts about your personal life, but, there was such authenticity in terms of your responses and your answers. And you really were very measured and articulate, but really thoughtful in how you delivered yourself, which was why I came straight off of our interview and went to the marketing team and said, hey, you guys, you have to meet Pal. She's amazing. I really like her. And, I think that's really incredible to share for people as well, because you could be absolutely the right person in terms of skill set or experience or have checked every single box on paper. But if you can't deliver that and sort of empower yourself to give a really good first impression, then it's all for naught, essentially. So, I really did appreciate that. And that was amazing. I think for me, what I'd really love to know is how you see the experience that you get from this internship fitting into your long-term goals.
So I've learned a lot of the things that I should be learning from now on. And I think what is really great is that in the military, we are tight on funds, but somehow, some way, like we can find a way, and kind of learning that there's a lot more restrictions depending on where you work or who you work with. I think that's going to really help me change that perspective from going from the military to the civilian world in terms of, hey, I'm learning the new restrictions that I have to work with vice the ones that I did before, and also getting to experience the new freedoms in marketing and the new freedoms in communicating that maybe were a little bit more limited while I was in the military.
That's interesting. It is such a different playing field here, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There's zero parameters in comparison. The boundaries are down in comparison. So it's really interesting having that insight in how marketing works in the civilian world. And one last question to you, and I love asking this to interns, is if you could share your biggest lesson learned so far with those who are about to embark on their transition journey, what would it be?
Stay humble. And don't think that you know everything. And if you think you know everything, that you've already lost. Because even if you've spent a whole career doing public affairs or marketing or sales or whatever it is, like it, simply because it's in a different place, you're going to have to relearn all of the new skills and just reframe your mind, really.
Thank you. And are you enjoying it here?
Absolutely. The team's great.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Good answer, pal. Good answer.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. As we segue now into the roles, Pal is going to jump off, but we really did want to share that information with you because I think it's really interesting getting it from somebody's perspective who's in the shoes at the moment, or the shoes that you may want to fill at some point in the future, and being able to identify what their experience is, what they've learned, but also the questions to ask off the back of their experience. So really appreciate you, Pal. Thank you so much. Right, guys, are we ready to get going? We have Skillbridge opportunities to share with you today, direct hire roles to share with you today. And then again, the opportunity to answer any of your questions at the end. So if you do have anything you want to ask us when it comes to the recruiting cycle or resumes or interviews, salary negotiation, hit us with it. It can be either on the Skillbridge side or applying to permanent positions. We will do our utmost to be able to help you. And we're here for everybody. So if you're an active duty military spouse, we're here for you. If you are a veteran and retired or separated, we're here for you. And if you're a transitioning service member, we are absolutely here for you as well. Like Matt Hart said, if you hear of a role, I think it was Amber, sorry. If you have a role that you're interested in and you want to know more about it, we struggle with sharing the URLs in real time. LinkedIn doesn't like that. So tell us the name of the position and we will come back and we will share that URL to the job description online afterwards. If you don't hear of anything that you are interested in right now, do go to our website, hiremilitary.us. We have 2 portals there, one for SkillBridge, one for Direct Hire. Take a look. And if there is nothing there at all for you right now, definitely join our talent pool. We go to that first and foremost when we are sharing vacancies through email, when we are looking to recruit and source ourselves. So it's always great to be one step ahead of the game. And as another one of our recruiters said earlier, Matt Collins, putting yourself on our radar so that we know what you're looking for, where you're looking for it, and your timeline, so we can help you proactively. Right, Buff, I think we're going to go over to you first of all to share some SkillBridge opportunities. But before we do, can you tell us a little bit about SkillBridge and who it is available to?
Absolutely, Lucy. SkillBridge is available to all active duty service members only. So if you're a spouse, no SkillBridge. If you're a veteran, not a SkillBridge. Active duty service members only. It's a DoD SkillBridge approved program. Hire Military is one of many approved. However, it is calculated from the end of your service. So ETS in the Army, or EAS, Navy, Marines, Air Force, end of service contract. You back up 180 days. That's your window to start your SkillBridge. Typically in a 180-day window, though, you incorporate terminal leave and household goods for your last PCS. What we normally see is about 90 to 120 days where you're actually conducting your SkillBridge in your 180-day window. So that's the SkillBridge program. 3 roles that I'm excited to share with you guys today, guys and girls out there, are in the engineering, electrical background industries. The first one is going to be electrical engineer with a company R4 called R4 Integrations. They're a space and defense consulting company located in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Sign me up. I should have went to electrical engineering school. Great company. There are 4 or 5 roles in the electronics engineer background, CAD design as well. The responsibilities for this role is going to be generating and reviewing engineering drawings, technical reports, developing and improving reports for government guidelines and processes. The qualifications, of course, is if you have direct experience in FAA or military aviation engineering, it is a plus. Also, aircraft systems repair, modifications or sustainment. If you have any of those qualities or are interested in going to that location, go ahead and drop R4 in the comments for this electrical engineering platform, and we'll get back in touch with you for Fort Walton Beach, Florida. The next role that I have is a facilities engineer position, and this is for one position in Laurel, Mississippi. Okay, this role is for Masonite. Masonite is an international corporation, design, manufacturing, and distributor of interior and exterior doors. What I love about Masonite, and Jake Szynski should be in our comments, is that these guys have the probably the best veteran resource group I've ever seen. We attend a bi-weekly meeting with them, and they just really bring you in. A lot of veterans get out of the military and they miss that camaraderie. This is it with Masonite. They're a great organization that really values their veterans and their transitioning service members. For the role, a facilities engineer, you will be leading risk mitigation and facility infrastructure projects. You'll be going through some OSHA, some Lean Six Sigma process improvement type avenues, but you'll be located at that facility. The qualifications, if you have experience as an engineer in a manufacturing environment, if you have project leadership experience, you ability to read and interpret diagrams and blueprints, and also proficiency in AutoCAD, that would be a plus for this role here in Laurel, Mississippi. The last and final SkillBridge role that I'll be sharing with it is the field service engineer with FOSS North America. They are a data analytic company, leading global provider of analytics in the food and agricultural industry. What's cool about FOSS is that you get the autonomy to move in a region. So The location for these roles are Minneapolis, Memphis, and St. Louis. So what you'll do is you'll get a vehicle that you'll be a company vehicle and a company card that you'll be responsible for a region. And you'll make sure that the data analytic machines that the customers has are maintained and operational and that they're working condition. The responsibilities for this is installing, maintaining, repair analytical equipment and at customer sites in your location. So if you're in the Memphis area, you'll have a radius that you'll take care of. Minneapolis and St. Louis as well. Qualifications is just strong project management. Again, if you have the electrical, mechanical aptitude, this is your region. Again, if you go to our site, this is just a snippet of what we have for SkillBridge opportunities. If you go to hiremilitary.us, you can filter by state, you can filter by organization, and you'll find out more opportunities. But that's all I have for SkillBridge today, Lucy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Buff. So, permanent roles. Matt, what have you got?
All right, thank you. Yeah, so that was a few of the SkillBridge opportunities. Now we're going to transition over into the direct hire side for veterans, military spouses, people transitioning out of the military that might not be eligible for a SkillBridge. The first one that I'm going to share is a Python software developer that's out in Missouri City, Texas. So just think Houston, just on the southeast or southwest part of the Houston, Texas area. So beautiful location, very veteran friendly. What they're looking for is somebody to operate IoT network that manages the operation, optimization of distributed infrastructure systems that supports HVAC systems like water, hot water, cold water distribution, things like that. You'll basically design, analyze, and test document software integrations into the controls of their computer controllers. Now, it sounds like a bunch of fancy stuff, but again, if you're in this industry, you have this education, the experience, it all makes sense. But what they're looking for is a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering or computer science, about 5 years of experience with software development, preferably related to controls. But any information or knowledge related to Python, HTML, JavaScript, or Linux environments is a huge plus to what they're looking for. And it's a Python software developer in Missouri City, Texas. And then the next one that I'm going to talk about is a project manager that is remote. This is probably making a lot of people excited. So the project manager that is remote, our client's looking for someone passionate about renewable or distributed generational energy. You'll support the management of projects and general company operations. Responsible for collecting, analyzing, organizing project data, corresponding with clients, researching industry trends, and translating them to actual internal processes. So think you're the one that's developing what the clients need from conception almost, and you're analyzing current trends in the industry or in different geographical areas. You need a strong interest in renewable or distributed energy. What they would like, project management experience preferred, as well as undergraduate degree or other technical backgrounds or certifications. Again, think renewable energy, that type of environment. So a little bit of experience, but really the passion for it is what they're looking for. And that's a project manager that is remote. If you're interested in either of those, you can type in, Python software developer or project manager into the chats, and we'll be able to reach out to you, or go to our website. The link's down there at the bottom of the screen. You can read the full job descriptions on there. You can click apply. You can join the talent pool if you're not already on there. I'll turn it over to Amber to talk about her jobs.
Thanks, Matt. Those are some really exciting roles that you shared. I know that project manager is one that a lot of people are after. I'm going to start with a system engineer. This position is out of Rockledge, Florida, down on the Space Coast there. Our client for this particular role is a leading provider of aviation services to the worldwide commercial airspace and to the government and defense industries. The system engineer, you could really expect that they'll be drafting engineering projects, manufacturing assignments, and also working with the aircraft design and repair assignments. They will provide engineering investigation support and also be expected to really bring an element of technical leadership to the team there in Florida. So requirements for this particular role include a bachelor's of science in electronics, electrical engineering, or in physics. And they are looking for somebody that has at least 10 years of experience with aircraft, electrical, and avionics systems. So those folks definitely sit in our community. That's a system engineer out of Rockledge, Florida. If you have interest in it, you want to read the full job description, please check out our careers page. The next one and the last one that I'll be sharing this afternoon is a senior software engineer. This position is in the DC metro area. Our client is a health insurance provider, and they do have some flexibility in terms of location. We could go, as far as West Virginia even, because this is a hybrid role where you would occasionally report on site to their DC office, but looking in the DMV area as a whole. So qualifications for the senior software engineer include a bachelor's in either information technology or computer science, or 4 years of experience if you are lacking that formal education. This is a Java role, so you could expect Java, Spring Core, Spring Boot, and all of those good things that go along with that. And they do have a preference for AWS certified developer for certifications. Again, just a preference. In this position, though, you could really expect to be coding, deploying, testing, and troubleshooting for our clients' Java-based services, as well as mentoring their junior developers in a real fast-paced environment. So as a quick recap for our direct hire positions this afternoon, Matt covered a Python software developer that's in Missouri City, Texas. He also covered a project manager that's remote, a system engineer in Rockledge, Florida, as well as a senior software engineer in the DC metro. And really, this is just a couple of the roles that we have to share. We have so many others on our careers site. So you can drop it in the chat if you're interested in something that we mentioned, or check out our careers page and see if there's something for you there. Lucy, I'm going to pass it back to you.
I appreciate it. And wow, that project management position was very popular. So we are looking forward to the applications of that one. It definitely is a stellar role. Remote and project management is exactly what our population tends to be looking for. So we have team some questions today, mostly SkillBridge oriented. So I'm going to read them and then I'm going to throw them out, I guess, either to you, Buff, or to you, Matt, to answer. Amber, chip in if there is something from the direct hire perspective that you can share an experience there. So the first one is Jason's asked, can he work with or get a SkillBridge internship opportunity if his retirement packet has already been submitted to HRC, so the Human Resources Command? So I'm assuming, Jason, that you are Army. Buff, what do you think?
Yes. So even though you're submitted your packet to HRC, what you should be doing in the meantime is sourcing a host company that's DoD approved. And informational interviews, yes. LinkedIn, yes. Mentorship, yes. So when you kind of can narrow down your opportunities when the situation arises. There's a lot that goes to it, but while you're waiting your packet to get approved, that before your 180-day window, you cut your time in half. Once you get the green light, there's a lot of things you should be doing. It'll come up fast. So LinkedIn, yes. Sourcing a host company, yes. You can do that on our website, hiremilitary.us, and finding mentor, so you can have informational interviews to rule out occupations or industries that you might not be certified in or interested in yet.
Anything to add there, Matt? You say no.
Yeah. And that's my experience. HRC, that's what I did, and I ruled out a lot. So I kind of casted my net out wide, 18 months out, and my net got smaller. My opportunities got smaller as I narrowed out what I wanted to do.
Perfection. And I guess the question that we don't know the answer to here is, timescales around Jason's right now. He submitted his retirement packet, but how long has he got? So that's kind of a greater conversation, and our answer would depend on the detail that you would share with us. But good generic and overall answer there, Buff. And the second one we've got from Tyler is, do we see SkillBridge ever offering roles outside of the US? So that's one question, and I can take that in a second. Also, how far should you submit for a SkillBridge internship? He says in his experience, he finds that most companies don't always know about their openings until about 3 months from the SkillBridge window, which, yes, we find that too, Tyler. And the biggest disconnect with the SkillBridge internship program and corporate America is understanding that the candidate, unlike for direct hire opportunities, so for permanent roles, is far more proactive in their search. So they will start searching, a SkillBridge intern candidate will start searching maybe up to 12 months before their eligibility even opens. And so that's why it's always really handy to go through an organization like us or Hiring Our Heroes or the other big ones, because we actively talk to our clients and manage their expectations. And we work with them and with you to find a start date that works for everybody. Now, sometimes, this is really good information, clients come to us and they have a need, like an imminent and a fairly urgent need. And so they need somebody sooner rather than later. So that's going to work for candidates who may have decided to embark on SkillBridge at the last minute, or something else has fallen through for them, or another alternative there where they can turn it on a dime themselves. And then we do have opportunities where, they are very proactive and they know they will always have a need for this function or this skill set. So they just bring people in as and when. So a really good example of that is we have monthly cohorts with Texas Instruments, because they have always got a need. So they have always got an opening. So regardless of your timescale, even if you were to say, hey, you could start in March of next year, we would be able to facilitate that internship for you. So it really does depend. SkillBridge outside of the US, the general answer is, in our experience, we do not. That said, we have supported somebody who found their own, but it was with a US-based company, and they were going to be remote and they were going to be working in another country during the remote-based US-based SkillBridge internship. So it is a tricky one. We are not the best organization to come to in terms of that conduit. There are other ones out there, but I feel like you can, but it's just not something that we work on. And in terms of anything else, Buff, have you got anything more to add on that?
Let me unmute myself. No, we also, with folks that are OCONUS and they're coming stateside, we help those facilities. Yeah. That's probably a better way to get a SkillBridge, and it's easier for commands to approve. And we've had a lot of success doing that.
Well, thank you. And that's a really good segue into the whole, the SkillBridge recruiting team really do spend time with you. They support you if you are having a tricky conversation with your command or you don't quite know the information to be able to share. We have got all of that to hand, and they often pick up the phone and have conversations with your first sergeants or your chain of commands as well. And finally, if you are not familiar, if you find your own internship with a company who is not registered and authorized through the DoD SkillBridge website, we are able to host that as well. So if that's something that you are interested in, you've got an organization that you really want to intern with, but they are not registered, come to us. We can organize that and we can have a conversation on your behalf with them. So that just leaves me to say thank you so much for joining us today. It has been amazing as always. Looking forward to seeing all the candidates apply after the roles that we shared today. Do keep an eye out on our website, hiremilitary.us. And if we don't speak to you again, we will see you next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, every Tuesday afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.